Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Quick Explainer. We're going to be exploring a brilliant, lightning-fast adaptation from Rumi's Masnavi. It's this classic, super sharp tale that pits rigid academic intellect right up against gritty, real-world survival. Starting things off with Part 1, the arrogant grammarian and the concept of knowing the rules. So picture this. You've got this highly educated scholar boarding a ship, and this guy's complete and utter obsession, syntax. The rules and science of grammar and sentence structure. He is just entirely fixated on these strict rules, and he takes this immense, almost overwhelming pride in his highly specific, really rigid academic knowledge. And he actually turns to the captain of the ship and just delivers this deeply derisive insult. He looks right at him and says, "Well then, since you know nothing of syntax, half of your life has been wasted." Ouch, right? But the captain, even though he's obviously deeply offended by this, he brilliantly suppresses his feelings and just remains completely silent. Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds. The unforgiving storm and the ultimate test. Because out of absolutely nowhere, this chaotic, completely merciless storm hits, and it throws the poor ship into a disastrous whirlpool. So now look at the contrast. On one side, we have the scholar's syntax. He knows the academic rules. But on the other side, we've got the immediate, urgent physical need for survival, knowing how to actually swim. And spoiler alert, the Tempest literally does not care about grammar. So the captain turns to the flustered, terrified scholar and asks him simply, "Do you know how to swim?" When the scholar admits that no, he doesn't, the captain delivers this absolute mic drop reversal. He says, "Well then, since you do not know how to swim, your entire life is wasted." The scholar's supposedly superior expertise is now completely, utterly useless. Which brings us to Part 3, the ocean of truth, diving into Rumi's philosophy. Rumi uses this whole story as a profound deep dive into the human ego, because to survive the waves in the metaphorical ocean of truth, you have to let go of your self-importance. You have to annihilate the ego and completely surrender, almost becoming like a lifeless body in the water. If you stay intensely attached to your ego, well, the sea is just going to draw you under. But if you surrender, you float. And I absolutely love this specific little detail from the source material. Rumi actually says the arrogant scholar is now stranded like a donkey stuck on ice. It is such a vivid and honestly kind of hilarious way to illustrate that utter helplessness we all face when our worldly attributes and our big egos completely fail us. And this brilliantly illustrates our final section, pitcher versus the river, the final metaphor. Rumi leaves us with one last incredibly powerful image here. Think of all our fragile human knowledge as just a little pitcher of water, and compare that to divine grandeur, which is like the endless Tigris River. Once a person finally sees the true grandeur of that endless river, they really should just shatter their fragile little pitcher. They simply don't need it anymore. So what does this all mean for us? It leaves us with this final, provocative question. Are you clinging to a fragile pitcher, or are you truly ready to swim in the river? It is such a profound reminder to let go of our ego and truly embrace humility. Thank you so much for joining me on this quick explainer, and hey, keep exploring those depths.